exactly, 7:01. And we have a couple presentations. Oh. His email said he would be back on the 7th, I don't know. Okay, well, it's just. Okay. No one signed in. Oh, good. Okay, I guess we can.
Want to adjourn the executive?
Oh. We have to, do we have to make a, do you have to mo? Yep.
All right.
Second, move.
Who was it?
One, whatever, make it up.
Okay.
Okay, I guess we can start. Hopefully when she comes in, we do have somebody wanna. Oh, God, I can't. I got all sorts of notes up here, I can't even read. Okay. We'll start if we see her come in. Okay, so welcome everybody to the Town Board meeting of February 1, 2022. Town Clerk on a roll call.
Councilman Tom Diviny,
Here.
Councilman Paul Valentine, absent. Councilman Jerry Vittori,
Here.
Councilman Brian Donahue. Here. Supervisor Teresa Kenny.
Here, and we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't know, without Paul, we're lost. Okay, we'll let Tom do it. Ready, Tom?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Uh-oh, you might bump Paul from his job. Okay, so we're just going to start this evening with a moment of silence to honor the slain police officers Jason Rivera and Wilbert Mora of the NYPD. So if everyone just would, a moment of silence, please. Okay, thank you. We're going to start with a presentation. I don't think our first honoree is here yet, so we are going to move on to the second presentation, the Rocklin Community Power Program. Peggy here? No, she's not here either. Oh, I think Dr. Klingsdale is here. We can go back to the first item. I see Dr. Klingsdale just came in for Black History Month. Allison, if you want to go, I think she's out there. If you just want to bring her in. Who's here? Verizon. Okay. No, well, she's here. We'll get this. Allison, do you want us to? Okay, so you want me to go on one of the other agenda items? We could come back? Okay. So I don't think Peggy is here for the CCA. So why don't we get the Verizon franchise agreement presentation?
Good evening. My name is Paul Train. I'm from the law firm of Kirby Harrington Pinkard, representing Verizon New York. I've been working with Town Council Rob Magrino for close to a year, I think, Rob. And I think we're pretty close to an agreement and have covered the areas required under federal law and the state New York PSC regulations. Verizon's been operating a franchise in Orangetown since 2007 and has done so without incident and has met all the obligations of the existing franchise. I think it's a safe assessment based on that performance that Verizon has the financial, technical, and legal qualifications to continue to operate a franchise through the renewal. I'll just quickly walk through the highlights to not bore you with everything in this agreement. First one is what's
Just so you know, this is just kind of a preliminary presentation that Paul's giving. At the end, when the time is right, there'll be public hearing on it. So this is more just kind of
Right.
a presentation of where we
Informational.
are. Thank you.
No problem. Good point, Rob. First area that we covered was the, what's known as a service area, what area that needs to be served within the town. Rob has explained the acquisition into South Nyack or the annexation. So we've covered that language in section 1.13 that says any areas that get annexed or acquired will be provided service seamlessly. So we've covered that area. The franchise area in the language in section 3.1 also requires Verizon to provide cable service to all residents of the town with certain exceptions that are negotiated in the franchise. Probably most importantly, that Verizon will continue to pay 5% of its gross revenue from cable services to the town, which is the maximum allowed under federal law. There are audit requirements so that if the town feels that it needs to audit Verizon's financial records, it has the ability to do that. Certain protections under the law for insurance, $5 million in insurance. Obviously, indemnification of the town. The town has negotiated certain enforcement rights so that if Verizon doesn't perform anything under the franchise, it can hold a public hearing to look into any lack of compliance with the franchise. Franchise also requires that Verizon has to comply with all consumer protection and customer service standards pursuant to the New York Public Service Commission's rules and regulations. And as Rob noted, once the board decides it wants to move forward, there's a notice requirement from the New York Public Service Commission that requires typical notice period that the board would use, and that the final proposed agreement will be on record with the clerk's office for that period, and that the public has a chance to comment at that public hearing. If the board does in fact approve the renewal franchise at that hearing, it'll then go to the PSC. Verizon will file with the New York Public Service Commission within 60 days, and Public Service Commission will then stamp its approval, and it'll become effective for a 5-year term. Thank you. And I'll answer any questions if you have any.
I have questions, which I don't know if you're the right person to be even asking, but we just the timing is, we got a call today from a gentleman who lives in Piermont, which is one of the villages in Orangetown, who claims that they don't have access to Verizon services. They live in a condominium complex. Is that, I just found it hard to believe, but.
It's possible, and in how it would work in a multi-dwelling unit is that Verizon has to negotiate with the owner of the building.
Okay.
In some instances, the owners of the building have exclusive marketing arrangements, which are essentially outlawed by the FCC at this point, but they still exist with an incumbent cable provider, and at some point, they don't give Verizon the permission to enter the building. Or there are other access issues that doesn't allow Verizon to get into the building. But in most instances, Verizon negotiates an agreement and provides service. It's called a standard installation within 7 days.
Okay. And the other question that comes up periodically is, we're told, and I don't know if that certain municipalities, we're told Ramapo, for example, that there's some deal with their seniors get a discount.
No, Verizon was a second entrant into the market, so they created competition for the first time with Cablevision and its successor companies and other companies in New York State. And that created a competitive balance. And so no, Verizon doesn't offer a discount to any specific group, but its presence in the marketplace creates competition for the first time.
Arguably.
Duly noted.
If I could just comment on the one you mentioned, Teresa, about the access. Actually, in my condominium office in New City, we don't have access to
Really?
Verizon, so it is a
You know, because the poor gentleman wants to switch to Verizon,
Right.
and he sounds like
Sure.
he can't, so
Right.
that's,
for the competition, I guess, right?
yeah, exactly.
The other, Paul, maybe you could just touch on the public access, the educational access, and the government access channels. I know we.
Yeah, you need, Verizon pursuant to the federal law needs to provide the channels as requested by the town, and that provision exists in the renewal agreement as well. And, you know, again, that every town or village, depending on the circumstances, handles that differently. You know, some people are more aggressive with the use of the channels, some people aren't, but the channels are provided.
And I believe there are a number of government buildings that receive free, right?
Correct.
Access.
Cable.
No cost, and they're all listed there.
Correct.
Firehouses, libraries, et cetera, schools.
Mm-hmm.
They're all in the agreement. I'll send you all copies. I thought I had sent it. Oh, it is in the backup. I'm sorry.
Good.
The next step is Paul and I will continue to talk, and then once it's ready to go for the public hearing, we'll set that up and have a formal hearing.
Great.
And again, it was a little more involved the first time because they had to put in all the infrastructure, but it's all there now, so.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you very
good.
much.
Thank you. Excellent. Okay. I know she wants, we can get. Okay. We have our honoree, we're waiting for our honoree to come up. This is Dr. Arlene Klinkscale, who I had the pleasure of meeting 2 years ago. You want to sit down? Well, you can sit down. I'm going to read some things, and then you can get up. Okay. So I'm just going to, you know what, I'll come down there. Why don't I come down there? That may be easier. I'm very good, thank you. Good to see you again. So we have a certification, a proclamation, so I'm just going to read it real quick, try not to be too long. So whereas in 1976, in the year of America's bicentennial, President Gerald Ford declared February as Black History Month to acknowledge and celebrate the contributions of African Americans to the United States, and the declaration of Black History Month has been repeated since then. And whereas in Orangetown, Black history is town history. For over 300 years, the African American residents of the town have contributed to the development of this community. And whereas many local groups, including the NAACP, the NIAC Center, the Rocklin Negro Scholarship Fund, and others have held or will hold events to commemorate Black History Month. And whereas this year, Orangetown is honoring Dr. Arlene Klinkscale, where she began her teaching career in Virginia, where she taught for 10 years before moving to New York State to earn a master's degree from Teachers College, Columbia University. And whereas Dr. Arlene Klinkscale was hired in Pearl River by Superintendent Dr. Edward Manning to teach first grade starting in September 1960 at Lincoln Avenue Elementary School, becoming the first African-American teacher in Pearl River, New York. She taught for 5 years and continued her studies in administration. Whereas Dr. Arlene Klinkscale finished her studies and was hired by the East Ramapo School District, where she became the first African-American female principal in Rocklin County. And whereas Dr. Arlene Klinkscale in 1981 became the superintendent of the NIAC School District, serving as the first African-American female school superintendent in New York State. Now, therefore, be it resolved, in order to publicly recognize and celebrate the contributions of the African-American residents of our town, that the Town Board of the Town of Orangetown hereby proclaims February 2022 as Black History Month in the town of Orangetown. And I'm just going to say real quick, I had the pleasure of meeting Dr. Klinkscale. It was just about 2 years ago, right before the pandemic went down, and in Lincoln Avenue Elementary School, where my sister's a teacher, so it was very nice. And I remembered, I don't know if you remember, but you said words to me, and I'm going to probably totally brutalize them, but in essence, it was, you were telling me about being a leader and that you don't need to make other people feel bad to be a good leader. That, to be a good politician, you don't have to make others feel below you. That, so she had these kind of words that I said, that's totally right. And so it stuck with me, and your grace and your dignity, and I'm very proud to be issuing this proclamation to you. Thank you so much. Okay, and I know you want to say a few words.
Supervisor Kenny, Mrs. Allen, council persons, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank you for inviting me to be a part of your Black History Month celebration of 2022. Our theme this year is Black Health and Wellness. Black History Month serves as both a celebration and a powerful reminder that Black history is American history. Black culture is American culture, and Black stories are essential to the ongoing story of America. Our faults, our struggles, our progress, and our aspirations. We reflect on what has been done and what still needs to be done. I congratulate you and thank you for celebrating Black History Month. When I arrived in Pearl River, New York in 1960, 31-year-old Black woman from the segregated South, I did not know anyone, but I was welcomed and accepted by many. And thus my Rocklin County journey begun, and I have enjoyed a very rewarding and professional career. Thank you sincerely for recognizing the journey, its triumphs, and its struggles with this honor tonight. Thank you.
Is your birthday St. Patrick's Day?
I didn't understand.
Is your birthday March 17th?
Yes, it is.
And I know there's a connection between the two of us because Dr. Clinton will be turning 93 on St. Patrick's Day. So there you go. Want me to carry this back to you? Oh. I can carry that.
I would like to say that I was not late, but I came early, because I don't ever go late. I mean, I always like to be on time. And I couldn't find it. We drove around, and the only thing I saw was police, do not enter. So I went to the service station over there, and the man says, right over there, that building.
There you
I said,
go.
well, I just left over there. So I want you to know that I wasn't late, and I apologize
Not
for
late.
coming in late.
Not at all. Please, it was worth the wait. Okay, next we have Peggy Kurtz, who's going to give us an update on the Rocklin Community Power Program, the CCA.
Okay, great. So can you hear me okay through the mask?
I
Yeah,
can.
Okay. So, good evening. I'm the community coordinator for the Rocklin Community Power Program. I work for the program administrator, which is Jewel Community Power, and I live in Clarkstown. So I just want to remind you, Rocklin Community Power is a community-based energy program, and the program includes 6 communities in all: Clarkstown, Orangetown, the 3 Nyack villages, sorry, and the village of Haverstraw. We're now 14 months into the 2-year program, so I'm here to report, kind of do the annual report on the program performance and to answer any of your questions. So let me just, okay, great. Okay, so let's start with program participation. So 7,574 Orangetown households are participating in what's called standard energy. Standard energy is the same thing that Orange and Rocklin delivers. It is about 85% fossil fuels, powered by fossil fuels. 31 households in Orangetown are participating in the renewable energy portion of the program. What you can see here, unfortunately, is that most people, either way, they stay with the choice of their municipality. And, so even though the renewable energy was offered, most people stayed with the choice that was chosen by the town. So you may remember the default energy source for electricity changed from the supply that was supplied by Orange and Rocklin, which is the default supply source for most of Rocklin County, to the default source that was chosen by the municipality. Programs like this, which are called Community Choice Aggregation or CCA programs, are encouraged by New York State for 3 main reasons: to protect consumers from volatile energy costs, to help communities make the transition to clean energy, and to provide much stronger consumer protection. Then I just wanted commenting on the refresh mailing. A new mailing went out in the fall to 342 households. So this is something that happens 2 or 3 times per year. These refresh mailings go to households where people have either recently moved into the town or they were previously in what's called an ESCO contract, an energy service company contract, that has now expired. As ESCOs include companies like Direct Energy, Major, Clean Choice, Green Mountain. And as always, anyone can still opt out or into the program throughout and with no exit fee and no contract. Altogether, across the 6 communities, 20,292 households switched to renewable energy, and 7,651 households are with the standard energy, either through the town of Orangetown or because they chose to enroll in that. Okay, sorry. So the overall goal of the program, I would say, is to help communities make the transition to clean energy while at the same time protecting consumers from rising energy costs. And the program is performing very much as expected along with those lines. Keep in mind, Orange and Rocklin rates fluctuate from month to month. There have been and there will be some months when the utility rates are lower, but overall electricity rates have been rising. The rates within the program are 6.515 cents per kilowatt hour and 7.167 for standard energy, 7.167 cents for renewable energy. ONR is currently at almost 11 cents per kilowatt hour. Because we were able to lock in rates while rates were low, consumers have benefited. And here you see the collective savings over this is for the first 13 months of the program. The good news is that everybody saved, whether on clean energy, renewable energy, or standard energy. 20,000 households on renewable energy saved $837,151. In Orangetown alone, through both the clean energy portion of the program and the standard energy portion, saved $851,305. So pretty nice. When you break it down per household, it comes to savings of $42 for the year per household for average. This is for average consumers for the renewable energy, and $112 for those households that are on standard energy. So the difference is $5 per month, to sum up. But the key takeaway, I would say, is that everybody came out ahead, whichever choice of energy you were on. So in terms of greenhouse gas emissions, 71 metric tons of carbon dioxide were avoided over the 2 years as a result of the program. That's equivalent to avoiding 173,437 miles driven by the average passenger vehicle, also equivalent to the carbon sequestered by 87 acres of U.S. forests in 1 year. Community solar. Okay, so this was an additional part of the same program, adding on more local renewable energy generation and new projects. Usually these projects are solar projects in Orange County, at least until now. 107 this was an opt-in program. 107 Orangetown households subscribed. And through this program, through the giving back portion of the program, $5,350 were raised for the Rocklin Community Foundation, the COVID-19 Relief Fund, which was the choice that the Orangetown Board chose for those funds. So community solar going forward, right now the program is in hiatus, and that's partly because of a pause on opt-out community solar by the Department of Public Service. When the program comes back, it's going to be an opt-out program, most likely. It'll be an opt-out program, and there are some substantial advantages to that. There's no contract for consumers. That's usually the big hesitation people have, understandably. There's no second bill. It's all on that one O&R bill that most people are, that everybody is used to. There's no credit requirements, and there are guaranteed savings off the monthly electric bill. That program, as I mentioned, is on a pause statewide by the Department of Public Service, and it's expected that it'll take about 10 months for them to work through the changes that they're making in the program, and it'll probably be available again in the fall. I also want to just briefly mention stronger consumer protection. There is much stronger consumer protection through this program. This is something I had not appreciated myself personally until I started working for the program. There's a lot of companies out there that are using predatory practices. They bring you in at a low introductory rate, and then they raise your rates over the time. I see Supervisor Kenny nodding. It is really, it shouldn't be legal. I mean, I've talked to people who are paying 26.9 cents per kilowatt hour, 21.9. I mean, 2 or 3 or even almost 4 times as much as what they would be paying through the town program. There's no contract for consumers, there's no exit fee, there's no participation fee, the rates are guaranteed, there's no bait and switch. I also want to mention the community engagement, assistance, and information. So as Allison knows, I put out the information through the newsletter to really try to inform people in the town. There's a helpline Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, to give individual assistance to people who want information or help. There's local community coordinator and ongoing social media presence, and all of that continues throughout the life of the program. Finally, I just want to mention that the program ends in October, at the end of October 2022, this year, and the renewal process, believe it or not, begins mid-spring, really March 2022. And I believe so far it looks like all the communities will be participating, and we will also have additional Rockland and Orange County communities that are coming on board to create hopefully an even larger group. So that's it, and I'm ready for any questions.
Real quick, you know, South Nyack, I think they're in the process right now, or right? Were they doing this? Because they didn't do it with us originally, so.
South Nyack is one of the communities, yes.
They're in it with us? Or when we did it? Okay, because I know they said, so they were just, I guess the question is when we transition, when they become, so that's my question. Do they stay in renewable option
Yes,
once they're
they-
gone?
Yeah, whatever they're signed up for now, they stay with. So if they are signed up for renewable, if they're enrolled in the renewable option, they stay in it. If they're enrolled in the.
Because
sta-
just because,
Oh, no, I know that.
so
I know that.
basically they're Orangetown residents, and in theory, you know, I think it's complicated, so I have no problem with it staying that way. I just,
When the program renews, hopefully, I'm hoping that Orangetown will want to renew the program also. And at that point, whatever the default
Okay.
decision is for Orangetown, that becomes the default decision for South Nyack as well. But whatever they're enrolled in right now,
They'll
they
stay.
stay in.
yeah.
And that includes community solar. So if they have already signed up for community solar, they just stay in the program.
Okay. Okay. I'll just echo the point you made about people signing up, because I was a victim. You sign up, you get something in the mail, you know, you get this really
yeah.
great rate, you sign up, you send it off, and then you forget about it. So when they came around and I started paying attention when we were doing this, and I pulled out, you know, I was paying, I don't know what the number was, but it was significantly more than what
And I
we got through the CCA.
I
So
was
I
al-
think a lot of people do that.
I was as well. The other thing I also want to mention, so it's really, I feel like when I talk to people, I always feel like this should not be legal. The other thing I want to mention is in regard to community solar. So we are currently not offering for the next few months community solar. So when people come around door to door, sometimes they also are a little bit misleading. Oh, the town is doing this. It's not through the town program at that point. until we restart the program. So anybody who signs up really has to vet it for themselves.
Yeah.
And sometimes the community solar companies have hidden clauses. They have very large exit fees, like I've heard $600. So, you know, that's one of the advantages of this program is that the work is done for you. It's very carefully vetted.
Yep.
So-
Okay. Thank you.
Sure, okay, thank you.
Okay. On that, we're going to enter the workshop. We have, item number 3 is to reappoint the liaisons to the land use boards and committees. Number 4 is reappoint the Blue Hill Golf Advisory Committee. Number 5 is to reappoint the Orangetown Comprehensive Planning Committee. Number 6 is to reappoint the Orangetown Office of Emergency Management Committee. Number 7 is to reappoint Orangetown Environmental Committee. Number 8 is to reappoint the Orangetown Project Review Committee. Number 9 is to reappoint the Substance Abuse Committee. Number 10 is to reappoint Orangetown Traffic Advisory Board. Number 11 is to approve amend resolution regarding the Webster Bank. Basically, they're changing names, so we have to change the resolution to cover that. Number 12, approve additional services for AKRF. This is in regards to the Orangetown Comprehensive Plan. We had them add on an additional public meeting and some other things, so there's an additional cost. Number 13 is authorize the town attorney to defend and counterclaim in the matter of Rocklin Cider Works and Van Houten Farms against the town of Orangetown. Number 14 is authorize Highbury Concrete to perform demolition services at no cost to the town, a veterans playground, which from what I understand it's down, so it's a good thing we're approving it. Number 15, appoint Brendan Carton as a position of data entry operator in the IT department, probationary, effective February 2nd. Number 16, approve of the 2022 Certificate of Sewer registrations. Number 17, this is with Highway. We do this, I guess, every year. Agreement, expenditure of highway monies, Rockland County 2022 Pavement Preservation Repair Improvement Program, with a list of all the streets there. Number 18, accept with regret the resignation retirement of Fernando Simonelli from the Department of Environmental Management and Engineering, effective January 28th. Number 19, appoint James Davey, Assistant Operator Grade 2, wastewater, grade 14, effective February 2, 2022. Number 20, appoint Bruce Peters to position of Engineer 4, permanent Demi, effective February 2, 2022. 21 is to reclassify the position, appoint Joseph Mendocino to position of Engineer 3 in the Department of Environmental Management and Engineering. And then we have the audit. Okay. So I don't have anybody signed up, but, okay, where's Allison?
Make a motion to open public portion.
We just need the timer. You got the timer? Oh, I'm sorry, okay. Okay, go ahead, Barbara. I'm just going to remind everybody, we have 3 minutes, and the clock is going to be on up here, so.
Hi, I'm Barbara Dello from Blauvelt. First, I wanted to thank the town board and the different members who had explained to me about the threat of state law to local control of zoning. And that's a very, very, very important thing, and I appreciate you guys standing up for it. I also hope that the state is not holding that like a carrot in front of us saying, you know, if you make all these concessions, we'll allow you to have that. And I hope we don't sell away too much of what we really want in order just for that one thing. Then I wanted to also tell, and some of you know that I have read the comp plan goals, which are not voted on yet, or it's just the beginning of a process. However, I'm concerned about some of the things I saw. So I wanted to tell you just a little bit about my thinking. someone said to me, you know, there are developments like this, places like this that are very nice. And so I said I thought about it for quite a while. And I remembered going to visit a planned community up in the Poconos with some friends. And it was really nice, and it was all planned, and it had the buildings and the walkways and everything. And it was a lovely weekend. But I came home to my own home in Blauvelt, because I love Blauvelt. I was invited down to a couple of talks at the Players Club in New York City on the East Side. And you know, they have the townhouses, the upscale townhouses attached, and they have the parks with the pavements and the fancy playground equipment, and very, very lovely, almost like an English garden type thing, and you know, obviously very costly with a lot of upkeep and maintenance. And I thought, oh, this is really nice, but I didn't want to move there. I came home to my home in Blauvelt. My daughter just bought a condo overlooking a park in one part of the city, and she's very happy. She's a city girl. She works in the theater, and it's very nice, and she's very happy. But I don't want to move there. I want to live here in Blauvelt. I know someone in South Jersey in a gated community, and I know there's a lot like that in Florida. But if I wanted to live there, I'd sell my house here and move there. I want to come home to Blauvelt. The consultants who put out the comp plan goals, you know, had a lot of interesting ideas, but I'm not sure many of those ideas fit with Blauvelt and Orangeburg and the areas I live. People come here and they move to this area. When you're buying a house, you look different places, and if you want a gated
Barbara, it's time's up.
Oh, it says 6:07.
Yeah, we went from 3 to 6.
Oh,
She went the
did you
wrong
say-
way.
Okay, I'll finish real quickly. When people buy a home, they look at different communities with different areas, different features. And the people who move here come here because they like the kind of community we have here. And so when I looked at the comp plan goals, it would really change our community in many ways. There are some good things in it, but there's a lot of things that people don't like. A lot of density. They have the cluster housing, which is
Okay,
density.
Barbara, we have to, I'm sorry.
Okay, but anyway, you
because
know
everyone's
what's in
gonna
the
want
plan,
extra
but
time.
some of it really would fundamentally change the character of our community. So I ask you, please, to stand up for the people of the town. Thank you.
Okay. Does anybody else want to speak? Oh, I thought he wanted to speak. Anybody else want to speak? No? Okay. Got a motion to close? Do you want to you want to stand up? Yeah. Sorry, just so we can hear you.
Someone said that the town cannot sustain itself on just one-family homes. That's why we getting into these sort of developments of different kind. So that's what I heard. I don't
Okay.
know.
Thank you. Okay. Was that- Yeah, okay. No one else wants to speak? Okay, then can I get a motion to close? Motion to close. Second? All in favor? Aye. Okay. What's the matter? Yeah, we did. Didn't we?
I made a motion.
He did, he made a motion.
I guess.
We must have, we didn't? We must
All
have.
right.
We had to have.
All right.
Okay, does anybody want anything to say? You
Yeah,
want to say anything?
as far as the comprehensive plan, you know, there's so much to do, there's gonna be hearings. A lot of people were asked what they want. So a person can say, I want X, Y, and Z. It doesn't mean it's gonna be voted on or it's gonna be agreed upon. It's trying to bring all the ideas from the community, and then the town board will decide what they want, and they'll have the final say on it. Just because something's suggested at a meeting doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be in the final comprehensive plan. It's a process. We're in the middle of it. We're not nearly at the end of it. So you need not worry. The reason that this board was elected is because we do know what the residents of Orangetown want, and we do know what they don't want. So you'll see that, there's a lot of ideas in there that we may not agree with, and let the process play out. And when we do have the hearings, come out and make your opinion heard.
Okay, okay. No, Barbara, we can't have back and forth. We're just, Jerry, you want to say anything? I'm not saying anything either. Okay. Okay, so on that, we can move on to start voting. I hope everyone checked out number 3 and they know what they're signed up for. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the reappointment of liaisons to the land use boards and committees? Jerry Bottari, move. Second. Brian Donahue, all in favor? Number 4, reappoint the Blue Hill Golf Advisory Committee for a 1-year term.
I'll make that motion for Paul.
For Tom Tiffany, move. Jerry Bottari, second. All in favor? Aye. We should have taken them off. They're not being here. We should have taken them off. Imagine he came back. Reappoint Orangetown Comprehensive Plan Committee for a 1-year term. Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Reappoint Orangetown Office of Emergency Management Committee for a 1-year term. Motion.
I'll move that.
Okay.
No problem.
Brian, second. Tom first. All in favor?
All right.
Reappoint the Orangetown Environmental Committee.
That's your committee.
I'll make a motion. Second. Jerry Bottari, all in favor? Reappoint the Orangetown Project Review Committee for a 1-year term. Motion. Brian Donahue, second. Jerry Bottari, all in favor? Aye. Reappoint the Substance Abuse Committee. I'll make a motion. Second. Tom Divany, all in favor? Aye. Reappoint the Orangetown Traffic Advisory Board for a 1-year term. Motion. Jerry Bottari, second. Brian Donahue, all in favor? Amend Resolution 2022-4 Webster Bank, formerly known as Sterling National Bank, just changing the name. Can I get a motion?
Moved.
Tom Divany, second. Jerry Bottari, all in favor? Approve additional services for Akrf for the Orangetown Comprehensive Plan. I'll make a motion. Second. Brian Donahue, all in favor? Authorize the town attorney to, just going back to that item, just so you guys know, we're authorizing them to send out a postcard to all of the residents so they know the next public hearing date. So no one can say they didn't know because they're not on Facebook and stuff. So everyone will have plenty of notice about the next
Public hearing date.
public, not the public hearing, public just presentation and where they could come and comment. April 28th, so yeah, so that everyone has the date. There will be, once the plan is done, we have public hearings, but this is not, this is just really a public comment period for people to come out and comment.
Can I ask that that be an open meeting and not just structured, so you can only put dots on things you don't want?
Okay. I will have to speak to the planners. I don't know, I don't think, that was they're not doing that anymore. That was supposed to be like a interactive thing, which some people, by the way, loved. They told us they loved it, but we'll speak to them about how the format is on that one. Number 13, authorize the town attorney to defend and counterclaim in the matter of Rocklin Cider Works and Van Houten Farms against the town of Orangetown. Yeah, town. Who moved? Jerry? And then Brian, did you second? All in favor? Aye. Number 14, to authorize Highbury Concrete to perform demolition services at no cost to the town of Veterans Playground.
Moved.
Tom Divany moved. Brian Donahue second. All in favor? Aye. Appoint Brendan Carton to data entry operator in the IT department, effective February 2, 2022. Motion? Brian Donahue, second.
Second.
Tom Divany, all in favor? Aye. Did I skip something here? Okay. Number 16, approval of the 2022 Certificate of Sewer Registrations. Motion. Jerry Bottari, second.
Second.
Tom Divany, all in favor? Approve agreement for the expenditure of highway monies, Rockland County 2022 Pavement Preservation Repair Improvement Program. A lot of money, okay. Okay, Brian Donahue, second. Jerry Bottari, all in favor? Aye. Number 18, accept with regret the retirement of Fernando Simonelli from the Department of DEME effective January 28, 2022.
Second.
You got that? Move, second. Okay, all in favor? Appoint James Davies to the Assistant Operator Grade 2 in the wastewater in DEME effective February 2, 2022. Motion?
Moved.
Tom Divany, second. Brian Donahue, all in favor? Aye. Appoint Bruce Peters to the position of Engineer 4 in the permanent in Department of Environmental Management and Engineering effective February 2nd. Brian Donahue, second. Jerry Bottari, all in favor? Reclassify the position, appoint Joseph Mendocino to Engineer 3 in the Department of Environmental Management and Engineering effective February 2nd, 2022.
Moved.
Tom Divany, second. Jerry Bottari, all in favor? Okay.
Okay. Tonight's warrant consists of 9 warrants for $693,000. Items of interest, number 1, State Comptroller, $32,000 for justice fines. Number 3, Hudson Valley Engineering, $39,000 for the Middletown Road Pedestrian Corridor Link. Number 5, Commissioner of Taxation and Finance, $18,000 for the Workers' Comp Board. Number 6, Atlantic Salt, $76,000 for highway salt purchases. Number 9, ICC CDS LLC, $23,000 for the Laserfish storage and maintenance software program that we use. And number 11, Ron's Quality Automotive, $10,000 for parks and highway equipment repair. Any questions on the audit?
Nope, okay, so, motion to accept the audit?
Moved.
Tom, second. Jerry, all in favor? Okay, so we are going in executive session to discuss what? Personnel, definitely personnel. Matters related to employment, okay. We do have some adjournments. We have Joseph McTiernan, former resident of Walva and former chief of the South Orangetown Ambulance Corps, and they were Detective First Grade Jason Rivera and Police Officer Wilbert Mora. So we're going to say that we're not voting on anything when we come back. So can I get a motion to go into executive session?
Moved.
And adjourn. Tom moved. Did I hear a second over here? Brian, second. All in favor? Aye, okay.